My name is Velez. How are you doing today? We're just going to make some food. First, we're going to have a classic rice pilaf. As we see right here, the missing place before you actually start the meal, you have to dice these onions. So we're going to start off with that. First off, we have to actually peel them. So I'm just going to cut them in half. Okay. At this point, we're going to pull the outer layer off since it's not ready for consumption. You see from there. Just keep on slicing. You want to make sure that when you're actually slicing them that you try to get it as thin as possible. You see I didn't make that one too thin, but I'm going to try better for the next ones. There you go. Now I'm just going to show you with these small ones. We're going to continue to cut them down. I have some tiny little onion there. Next thing that the recipe calls for is for 30 milliliters of butter. And as it says here, it's 2.028 tablespoons. So as you see, on the butter stick, they have a measuring. I'm just gonna cut just about there. Go. So the next part of the recipe calls you to use about a quart of chicken stock. So we're gonna do cups. We're gonna use 4 cups right now. You can see the special equipment that I'm using. I'm gonna bring the chicken broth to a boil. At this point, we're gonna put about a tablespoon of olive oil. Right here, I'm gonna mix it with the butter. This is gonna be the same pot that we use. 2 tablespoons that we're actually gonna use. We're gonna use the same pot for the actual rice that we'll be cooking. And now we're gonna put that butter that I had cut up earlier. So the next step is actually using one of the bay leaves that we've already taken it out. Just gonna place it right in there. Use that for the flavor. After this, we're gonna put some onions in there, approximately about 3 ounces. Shove it right in there. There you go. Let that heat up for a little bit. So at this point, the next part of the recipe actually calls to use a pound of rice. Given the fact that it's only me that's going to be eating at the moment, I'm just going to use about half a cup. Place it in there. Mix it all in. Mix it all around. At this point, we're going to place the chicken stock in the rice. Pour it slowly. Right there. I'm going to add some salt to taste. Right there. I'm going to pinch that out. At this point now, we're going to be making the country raised chicken. Recipe does call for some flour. We're going to put this right there. Make sure it's all out. Rest of paprika. We're going to put a tablespoon of that. Add that in there. Now we're going to have black pepper, another tablespoon of it. Right there. Cayenne pepper, another tablespoon of that. Make sure you get it all in there. There you go. Add that in. Mix it all together. Mix it all out. We have to also put the salt in. 1 tablespoon of that. There you go. And Just mix all of that in. So at this point, we now need to put 2 tablespoons of butter inside of the pan. Get that heating in. So we're gonna go right here, 2 tablespoons. Thereabout. Put it right in there. Get that going. We'll put some virgin olive oil in there. As you see, we're using the Circulon frying pan. Special equipment you would use for making this type of chicken. There you go. And now at this point, I'm gonna open up some chicken here. Get it right in the flour. I'm just gonna start. Make sure you get all ends on there. For 30 seconds is how long I'm going to actually place this chicken in there for. Now we're going to flip it over. Let 30 seconds pop it out. Gotta make sure you got a full grip of it. I'm having some difficulty with it. So at this point now, I'm going to take the chicken off of the pan. I'm going to place it onto this plate right here. Turn off the stove, of course. And we're going to cut up the chicken into 8 small pieces. Side. Try a different onions, the bell peppers, and pieces of garlic cloves in this frying pan. Slide it right in there. Onions in there as well. Close all that right there. You have your curry powder. Some in there for you as well. See, we're still using the Circulon special frying pan. Get just enough curry in there. Point now, we're gonna let it sit for about 30 seconds to a minute. Then we're gonna add the tomato concassé to it as well. See the curry getting in there with all the vegetables. So I'm just going to use regular onions for it. And you see they're already chopped. So now we're going to do our next procedure. We're going to use 1.5 tablespoons. You see my knife is onions. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of sugar. Make sure we get that in there. Add that on top. A little extra. And I'm going to put a little bit of black pepper. Okay, black pepper here. Just going to add it right in there. Okay. Now, as you can see, the food is complete. Chicken here, glazed onions here, rice pilaf there. Now, special limitations that you would have to do if, let's say, you had to cook this for 100 people, you would have to have a good team that's very organized, knowing what they're doing. And again, with the yield that we have here, you will, of course, have to times it by 100. So let's say the country braised chicken, 8 servings, you would need 800 servings. The flour, 6 ounces, you would need 600 ounces, so on and so forth for each of the recipes. Personally, what I would have done differently, I did have a little bit of it. The rice came out good. The onions came out good as well. The chicken came out tasty, but I did put a little too much curry on it. So it does have a very strong curry taste. Besides that, I'm going to enjoy my food because I know I did taste a little bit of everything already. And I'm going to dig in.